US-Iran War. The United States and Iran have had hostile relations since 1979, when Iran's Islamic Revolution removed a US-backed ruler and replaced him with a government strongly opposed to American influence. Over the years, tensions grew over Iran's nuclear program. The US, along with Israel and some European countries, have believed Iran could be trying to develop nuclear weapons. Iran said its nuclear work is for peaceful energy and research purposes. Israel has played a major role in this conflict because it sees Iran as the biggest security threat. Iran leaders have openly opposed Israel's existence, and Iran supports armed groups such as Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza, both of which have fought Israel. Israel has carried out covert operations, cyber attacks and airstrikes targeting Iran military positions and nuclear facilities, especially in Syria. It has also pushed the United States to take harder stance against Iran's nuclear program. After years of proxy conflicts and indirect clashes, the situation escalated into direct military exchanges. Strikes targeted key military sites and senior commanders, including Iran's supreme leader, which marked a major turning point. Iran responded with missile and drone attacks aimed at US and Israeli-linked targets. Thousands of people, mostly military personnel, are believed to have been killed or injured in the fighting. The conflict has disrupted oil shipments in the Persian Gulf, caused global oil prices to rise, and led to missile and drone strikes affecting nearby countries such as United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Kuwait, increasing fear across the region. Israel-Hamas war. This conflict is about land and control between Israelis and Palestinians. Both groups believe the land belongs to them. Gaza is controlled by a group called Hamas. Israel says Hamas is dangerous because it attacks civilians. Hamas says it is fighting for Palestinian freedom. On October 7th, 2023, Hamas attacked Israel, killing around 1,200 people and taking hostages. Israel then launched heavy airstrikes and sent soldiers into Gaza. Since then, more than 30,000 Palestinians have reportedly been killed and many more injured. Most people in Gaza have had to leave their homes, and many buildings, including homes and hospitals, have been destroyed. Yemen Civil War. Yemen's war began years after political problems in 2014. A group called the Houthis took over the capital city, saying the government was corrupt and unfair to them. The president fled, and Saudi Arabia stepped in to support the government because it did not want the Houthis, who are linked to Iran, to gain power near its border. The fighting has lasted for years. It has caused around 300,000 deaths, many from hunger and disease. Millions of people are displaced, and many children suffer from malnutrition. Syrian Civil War. In 2011, people in Syria protested because they wanted more freedom and better living conditions. The government used force to stop the protests. This led to a full war between the government and different rebel groups. Other countries joined in, supporting different sides. A group called ISIS also took control of large areas for a time. More than 500,000 people have died. Over 6 million people have left Syria, and millions are displaced inside the country. Many cities have been destroyed. Eastern Congo conflict. Fighting in the Eastern Congo has been going on for many years. The Rwandan genocide happened in 1994 because of a long-standing ethnic tension between two main groups in Rwanda, the Hutu majority and the Tutsi minority. During colonial rule, European powers treated Tutsis as superior and gave them more power, which created deep resentment around many Hutus. After Rwanda became independent, power shifted to Hutu leaders and discrimination against Tutsis increased. On April 6, 1994, Rwanda's president, who was Hutu, was killed when his plane was shot down. Extremist Hutu leaders blamed the Tutsis and used the crash as an excuse to begin mass killings. In about 100 days, around 800,000 people, mostly Tutsis and some moderate Hutus, were murdered. After the genocide, some of the Hutu fighters who carried out the killings fled into Congo. Rwanda then sent troops into Congo to hunt them down, and this helped spark larger regional wars. Over time, many armed groups formed, fighting over the land, ethnic control, and valuable minerals like cobalt and coltan that are used in electronics. Neighbouring countries have also become involved at different times. Over the past few decades, millions of people have died, many from disease and hunger caused by the chaos. Today, rebel groups still clash with government forces, towns are attacked, and more than 6 million people have been forced to leave their homes. Sudan Civil War. Sudan's war started because two powerful military leaders both wanted control of the country. After Sudan's long-time ruler was removed in 2019, the army and an unofficial military group agreed to share power. Later, they disagreed about who should lead and how their forces should be combined. In 2023, fighting broke out in the capital city, and tens of thousands have been killed or hurt. More than 7 million people have been forced to leave their homes. Many people do not have enough food, clean water, or medical care. Somalia conflict. Somalia's problems began in 1991 when its central government collapsed. Different groups fought for power. A group called Al-Shabaab formed and wants to control the country under strict religious rules. The national government, with help from other national countries, is trying to defeat them. Tens of thousands have been killed over the years. Millions of people face hunger and have had to leave their homes because of the fighting. Myanmar Civil War. In 2021, Myanmar's military took control of the government, saying the election was unfair. Many people protested because they wanted a system where citizens hold the power to choose their leaders and influence decisions. The military used force to stop the protests, and some people then formed armed groups to fight back. Ethnic groups that had been fighting the government for years also joined in. Thousands have been killed and more than 2 million people have fled their homes. Villages have been burned and airstrikes have damaged towns. Armenia Azerbaijan conflict. These two countries have had hostile relations for a long time over a place called Nagorno-Karabakh. Most people there were Armenian, but the land was officially part of Azerbaijan after the Soviet Union ended. Wars broke out in the 1990s and began in 2020, killing around 7,000 people in the latest big war. In 2023, Azerbaijan took full control of the area. More than 100,000 Armenians left their homes because they were afraid. Russia-Ukraine war. This war is happening because Russia and Ukraine disagree about Ukraine's future. After the Soviet Union broke apart in 1991, Ukraine wanted its own country. Over time, Ukraine wanted to be closer to Europe and possibly join a group called NATO, which is a military alliance. Russia did not want NATO near its borders and saw this as a threat. In 2024, after Ukraine's president was removed during large protests, Russia took over part of Ukraine called Crimea. Fighting continued in eastern Ukraine for years. In 2022, Russia invaded the country on a much larger scale. Since then, hundreds of thousands of soldiers have been killed or hurt. Tens of thousands of civilians have died, millions of people have left their homes, and many cities have been badly damaged.